National Labour Day, and as the world is commemorating this day, it's a time to honor contributions of workers and to reflect on the protections and rights they deserve. One key aspect of workers' welfare is workers' compensation. This is a system designed to support employees who are injured or become ill during their work. As we acknowledge the importance of safe and fair working environment, it is crucial to examine how well this system functions across different sectors and regions. Now, to help us understand Uganda's spectrum on the subject matter, we talked to Counsel Johnan Rwambuka, who is a commissioner for oaths under the judiciary, as well as a labor law consultant. Good afternoon to you, Counsel.
Good afternoon, President.
Our first question is, what happens when a worker gets injured while they're at work?
When a worker gets injured while at work, someone must be at work or coming from work. So when someone is coming from work or going to work, they are deemed to be in the course of employment. And when someone gets injured, they have to notify the employer. And once the employer is notified, he has to, first of all, give treatment, and secondly, inform the district labor officer that I've got a worker who is injured. And from there, once there is that has been done and the worker has been treated, the district labor officer will ask the employer to fill certain forms. One, to ascertain the earnings of an employee. Earnings is not just wages, but it includes even benefit in kind. If someone is being given lunch, is given rations, is given food at work, is given free transport, is given housing, all those are taken into to determine the earnings of your worker.
Okay.
And secondly, the next form will be for a medical practitioner to ascertain the degree of incapacity. If the worker gets injured, he may not get incapacitated to necessitate workers' compensation. So they will determine whether he is incapacitated and to what extent. And after that, those forms have been filled, the labor officer will have to compute the workers' compensation that is payable, which is a fraction of what someone should have earned in a period of 5 years.
Okay. What are some of the challenges that workers, especially in Uganda, are facing when seeking compensation?
One is that, like any other laws, most of the laws, workers are not aware of this entitlement. And many workers who are in factories, who are in industries, get these challenges. They find they get injured, they are not aware that maybe the employer took out insurance, or they even not have written contracts. Sometimes we find they are paid cash in hand, so they cannot be able to tell that this is the wages I earn. Or sometimes the employer wants to be funny and is saying this one is not my employee. So that challenge. And two, many times when employers are taking out insurance, they tend to give only wages and leave the other issue of earnings. And the other thing is getting legal advice or legal redress. Many times you find insurance companies want to use their own doctors, who many times want to ensure they give less incapacitated. You find the worker is injured, he has lost a limb, maybe he has a back pain, which cannot allow him to do the work they have been doing, and therefore you find an employee is relying on the doctor of the insurance company, or of the company, of the insurance. But they have a right to challenge the decision from the doctor to the Medical Protection Board, which sits at the Ministry of Gender and Social Development, to say that the incapacity which they have given, maybe 10%, it seems to be on the lower side.
Okay.
Then the team of doctors sit down and review the injured worker and give a final incapacity level.
All right, we're speaking about this in most consideration of the formal sector, but we also have a growing informal sector, and more injuries happen there on a daily than we can account for. When you look at these compensation policies, do they actually favor the informal sector?
The law, the way it is made, is meant for people in a formal setting. You have an employer, you have an employee, and you have a work environment. So for informal sector, I'm looking at someone maybe in a market setting, where
in a construction
site, but the construction site still there must be insurance. Still they are covered. Only that the challenge there is that much of the work is casualized. Someone comes in for a week, they don't show up again, so there's no record that this person has been employed. So it becomes a challenge because of a lack of records. But any person who is working, irrespective of whether you're on probation, irrespective of whether you're a temporary worker, the moment you get injured at work or you get a disease, even for doctors, recently a doctor who got Ebola, who got COVID while at work, the court ordered that he should be compensated. You get a disease as a result of work, you have to, first of all, ask your employer to ensure they give you treatment. Once you are healed, then you have to go to the labor office. Then the labor office, you have to compute and ensure the employer pays you your compensation.
All right, so at the labor office, when the work or the claim has been placed in, what happens next?
The labor officer uses the earnings and the level of incapacity to compute how much is supposed to be paid. Once that money is computed, they give an employer 21 days within which to ensure they have paid or they have reached an agreement with an employee. If they don't pay, then the employee has to make an application to a magistrate's court where the injury happened. And the law allows the jurisdictional magistrate to even go beyond the amount which is put in the Magistrates Court Act. So even if someone, let's say, is entitled to compensation of 120 million, that application is put before the Magistrates Court, and it's the magistrate to handle that application and enforce the claim against the employer.
All right, thank you so much, Counsel Rwambuka, for that piece of information as we look to compensation as far as labor is concerned for the case of Uganda. We take a short breather, we'll return shortly. Do stay with us.